Hello grade 9 students, we're now through discussing different laws of exponents, which included zero and negative exponents. So today we will go on to our new lesson, which is all about radicals or radical expressions. MELC, or the most essential learning competency, writes expression with rational exponents as radicals and vice versa. For the learning objectives, illustrate expressions with radical expressions. Number 2, identify expressions with rational exponents or radical, and write expressions with rational exponents as radicals and vice versa. What are radical expressions? These are mathematical expressions containing the symbol here, which is called the radical sign, and these are also called radicals. So this is in the form right here. What are the parts of a radical sign? What are the parts of radicals? So we have here, this is what we call the radical sign, and the expression or the variable inside the radical sign is what we call the radicand, and n is what we call the index. So the radical sign is used to denote that the root of a number is to be extracted. The index n for plural indices is a positive integer greater than 1. So index must be greater than 1. We cannot have an index which is equal to 1. So it indicates the order of the radical or which nth root is required. The radicand a raised to m is expression under the radical sign, and m is the power or exponent of the radicand. The notation here, first root of a is not used, since if we simplify this means that a is raised to 1 over 1, but 1 over 1 is still 1, a raised to 1, and a raised to 1 is equal to a. So the square root of a quantity is written without the index, thus we write square root of a instead of here. So meaning to say, if we say square root of a, that means the index is 2, right? But we do not write 2 anymore. So we just start writing the index when it's more than 2. So example 3. If the index is 3 here, that means cube root of a. So here, the cube root of a is written as here, cube root of a. So when the index is 2, we do not write 2 anymore as the index, but rather we'll write here square root of a. Okay, we have here some examples of radical expressions. Number 1, square root of x. This is read as square root of x. Number 2, square root of 2a cubed. Number 3, the cube root of the quantity 2x minus 1. The fifth root, number 4, it is read as the fifth root of 4xy cubed. And number 5, the fourth root of the quotient 3xy over all over 4x cubed y to the 12th power. Okay, so in number 1, what's the index? Number 1 and 2, the index is 2. In number 3, the index is 3. 4, the index is 5. And number 5, the index is 4. And in number 1, the radicand is x. The radicand for number 2 is 2a cubed. 2x minus 1 for number 3. Number 4, the radicand is 4xy cubed. And the radicand for number 5 is 3xy over 4x cubed y to the 12th power. Now let us learn how to write expressions from rational expressions to radical form. Let a be any real number and n be a positive integer greater than 1. So if we have here a base with exponent y 1 over n, this can be expressed to radical form as nth root of a. So meaning to say, the fractional exponent of a, right, the numerator is actually the exponent of the index a, and the denominator n in this fractional exponent is actually the index. Alright, so example 4 raised to 1/3 is cube root of 4. Okay, we do not write 1 as exponent of 4 anymore, because 4 raised to 1 means 4. So 4 raised to 1/3 is cube root of 4. 5x raised to 1/2 means 5 the square root of x. Right, since x has only the fractional exponent 1/2, so we will just the inside of the radical sign is only x, not 5. 5 is actually the coefficient. Alright, so 5x raised to 1/2 means 5 the square root of x. So ibig sabihin, if the exponent of a variable is 1/2 or any number is 1/2, it means it's the square root of that number. And if the exponent of any number or variable is 1/3, that means that's the cube root of that number. Number letter C, quantity 2xy squared raised to 1/5, meaning 2xy squared is will be our radicands. It will be all inside the radical sign, and 5 here is the index, so this is read as 5th root of 2xy squared. And in letter D, 3 quantity x minus 1 raised to 1/3, so this means that this is 3 multiplied by the cube root of x minus 1. Or we can apply here a raised to 1 over n is nth root of a. So for number 1, a is 4, n is 3, so this will be written as 4th root of n, a cube root of 4. Yes, in number 3, the cube root of x minus 1, because a is x minus 1 and n is 3. We have also here letter E, 7 raised to 1/6 all over m raised to 1/3. So this means that if we raise 7 to 1 over 6, is actually equivalent to 6th root of 7. M raised to 1/3 is the cube root of n. Now, if m over n is a rational number, and a is a positive real number, and n be positive integer greater than 1, then a raised to m over n is equal to nth root of a raised to m, or equal to nth root of a raised to m. Okay, let's have this example. Right, this time in the fractional exponent, numerator is not anymore 1 but more than 1. Right, greater than 1 na yun. So 2 raised to 3 fifths is equal to the 5th root of 2 cubed, which is equal to the 5th root of 8. 2 cubed is 8, right? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So this can be written as 5th root of 8. How about this? 3m raised to the 4 fifths. So this means m is only the one which is raised to fraction, which is 4 fifths. So this will be equivalent to 3 times the 5th root of m to the 4th power. Okay, indihan. Ang denominator yun yung index, and then yung 4 will be the exponent of m inside the radical sign or the radicand. How about this? Quantity 2SRT raised to 2/3. This means cube root of 2SRT squared. Then square natin yung 2SRT inside the radical sign. So simplify. Cube root of 4s squared r squared t squared. Number 10. How about this? 10 times quantity 4b plus 2 raised to 3/4. So 4 will be our index, 3 will be the exponent of 4b plus 2, 10 will be the coefficient. So in letter D, the answer will be 10 times the 4th root of 4b plus 2 cubed, quantity 4b plus 2 cubed. And how about letter E? 3 raised to 5 over 6 all over p raised to 2/3. So in the numerator, it's equal to 6th root of 3 to the 5th power all over cube root of p squared. Or let's try to simplify. 3 to the 5th power is 243. So the answer is 6th root of 243 all over cube root of p squared. Okay, write expressions from radical form to exponential form. Okay, this time we will do the reverse, the vice versa. In the last examples, given the Even the rational, ano tawag dyan? Even the exponential form, express it to radical form, but this time from radical form express to exponential form. Let a be any real number and n be a positive integer greater than 1, then nth root of a is equal to a raised to 1 over n. So example, letter A, square root of 13 means 13 raised to 1 up. So basta pag 13, square root of any number, okay, is the number raised to 1 up. How about this? Cube root of 9x, meaning 9x raised to 1/3 yan. Okay, yung buong 9x raised to 1/3. So simplify, 9 raised to 1/3, x raised to 1/3. How about this? 4 raised to 4th root of ab cubed. 4 times the quantity ab cubed raised to 1/4. Answer dyan, or 4 raised to 4a raised to 1/4, b raised to 3/4 is the answer. How about letter D? 3 times the fifth root of quantity d plus c. So this means 3 times d plus c raised to 1/5. And how about this? Letter E. X times square root of 5 all over 6 times the cube root of y means 5 raised to 1/2 x. Okay, square root of 5 means 5 raised to 1/2. Cube root of y means y raised to 1/3. So the answer is 5 raised to 1/2 x all over 6 y raised to 1/3. How about this? If m over n is a rational number and a is positive real number and n be a positive integer greater than 1, then nth root of a raised to m means is equal to a raised to m over n. This time yung numerator na the exponent of the radicand is not anymore 1 but more than 1, greater than 1. So example, 3 raised to the 6th power, square root of 3 raised to the 6th power, we express this to exponential form. It's equivalent to 3 raised to 6 over 2 because the index is 2, right? And okay, 6 over 2. So 6 is the numerator, the index is the denominator. And simplify, 6 over 2 is 3. So 3 cubed or 27. So the square root of 3 to the 6th power is 27. How about this? Fifth root of a cubed c squared. So this means we're going to raise a cubed c squared to 1/5. And then by power of a product law, 3 times 1/5 is 3/5, 2 times 1/5 is 2/5. So the answer is a raised to 3/5, c raised to 2/5. 3x times the cube root of y squared is, this means as 3x y raised to 2/3. Okay, as you can see, 2 is the numerator and 3 is the denominator, 2/3. Letter D, 6th root of the quantity 4x minus 1 raised to the 5th power. That means quantity 4x minus 1 raised to 5 over 6. 5 numerator, 6 denominator. And E, how about this cube root of b to the 5th over c squared? Right. So that means 3 is the denominator. So b raised to 5/3 all over c raised to 2/3 the answer for letter E. Let's proceed now to our exercises. Number 1, identify the following expressions if it is radical or rational exponents. Number 1, radical or rational exponents. Okay, of course, radical because of the presence of a radical sign. Number 2, rational exponents. Number 3 and 4, radical because it's the presence of the radical sign. Number 5, rational exponents. Number 6, radical. Number 7, radical. Number 8, rational. Number 9, radical. And number 10, rational exponents. Okay, let us answer the following questions. Choose the letter of the correct answer. This is a multiple choice exercise. What is the index of square root of 4x? Okay, that's easy. Answer is 2, A. A, the answer is A, so the index is 2. Number 2, what is the radicand of the radical expression 6th root of xy? The answer is C, xy. Yes, radicand. Number 3, what is the exponent of the radicand in pip root of quantity 2x raised to the 4th power? The answer is C. Okay. 2x. Wait. Sorry. Parang mali na. What is the exponent of the radicand in the pip root? Exponent, of course, is 4. The answer should be D. Okay, let's change. Number 3 is D. Ayan. Sorry about that. So for letters number 3, D, 4. So what term refers to 3 in expression cube root of AB? Of course, it's called index. And number 5, what term refers to 5xy in the expression square root of 5xy? The answer is D, radicand. Okay, those are the parts of radical expressions. Match the following expression in column A with the column. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Okay, in column A we have radical expressions. Column B we have rational expressions or rational exponents. Okay, match natin. For number 1, what's your answer? D. Okay, square root of 3 is D. 3 raised to 1 half, correct. How about number 2? Cube root of 6x. The answer is C, of course. Quantity 6x raised to 1/3. How about this, number 3? Pip root of 2. The answer is E, 2 raised to 1/5. How about number 4? Square root of x cubed. The answer is A, x raised to 3 halves. And of course, number 5, cube root of x to the 6th power. B, the answer is x squared. This is written as x raised to 6/3 or x squared. Okay, express the following in radical form. Number 1, CD raised to 3/4. C times D raised to 3/4. The answer is C, 4th root of D cube. How about number 2? Cube root of 5x cube y 6, y raised to 6 to the 2nd power. And number 3, 3b raised to 1 up is square root of 3b. Number 4 is 4th root of k over 4th root of m cube, or since they have the same index, we can write it as 4th root of k over m cube. Alright. And number 5, the answer is okay. Okay, I forgot to write here the index, which is 5. Dapat may index dito, no? Index dito na 5. Yes, we've forgotten to write the index, which is 5. So the answer should be pip root of 729 y raised to the 20th power. Okay. Next, write the following expressions in radical form. A raised to 1 over n equals nth root of a. Number 1, 3 over y raised to 1/3 is cube root of 3 over y. How about number 2? Pip root of ad cube. How about numbers 3? 9 times square root of x. Number 4, 4th root of 2x plus 8. And number 5, 12 times, wait, parang mali. Yes, tama. Yun lang yung na-raise sa 1 over 8 yung y. So, we have 12x times the 8th root of y. Another, write the following expressions in radical form. A raised to m over n is equal to n root of a raised to m. Okay, that's easy. Number 1. Okay, since the denominator here is 2, that means square root of 6 to the 5th power, or square root of 7,776. 76. Alright. Number 2. xy squared, the 4th root of z cube. Yun lang may radical, yung mga fractional exponent. So, number 3, negative 4, the 4th root of z to the 5th all over xy. Ito naman sa 4, since 3 yung denominator dyan, cube root of 5p minus 3c raised to the 2nd power. And number 5, 2, the p root of y plus 3 cube, quantity cube all over 3x. Meron pa, write expressions to radical form. over 1. Answer is yes. The 7th root of 128 r to the 14s is 7 cube, or simplify, yan, 128 cube r to the raised to 42 s raised to 21, or 2,097,152 r to the 42 s raised to 21 power cube root of 7. Number 2, pip root of wx squared y to the pip squared, or pip root of w squared x to the 4th y to the pip. Okay, very easy on number 3, square root of 144 or 12. Because 12 times 12 is 144. Here, 10, that the cube root of x to the 4th all over cube root of y, or since they have the same index, you can now just write it as 10 cube root of x 4th to the y. Number 5. Okay, since 5 is the denominator, the index is 5. The pip root of 3x over y squared, or pip root of 9x squared over y squared. Square mo yung 3x over y. Okay, next. Write the following expression in the exponential form. Number 1. Okay. 12r raised to 11 raised to 3 pips all over s raised to 2 pips, or 12. Alright, since they have the same denominator, which is 5, so this can be written as 12r raised to 11 cube all over s square raised to 1 pip, or the final answer we have 1728r raised to 33 all over s squared raised to 1 pip power. Next, number 2. 2x 6y to the 6, 2x raised to 6y to the 6 raised to 9 halves, or 2 raised to 9 halves x raised to 27 y raised to 27. Yes, 9 halves times 6 is 27. Ito naman sa number 3. Okay, 5x over 2y to the 4th, they have the same index, 1/3. I mean 3, so the exponent is 1/3, or 5 raised to 1/3 x raised to 1/3 all over 2 raised to 1/3 y raised to 4/3. Ito naman sa number 4, negative 2 raised to the 4n to the 16th p to the 12 raised to 3 halves, or 16n to the 16th p to the raised to 12 raised to 3 halves, or 64 n raised to 24 p raised to 18. Paano naging 64 yun? Because yes, we try to multiply the exponent here 4 by 3 halves. That means, okay, 4 times 3 halves is 6. 2 raised to 6 is 64. Yes, or here in 16, 2 raised to 4. 4 times 3 halves is 6. So 2 raised to 6 is 64. 16 times 3 halves is 24. 12 times 3 halves is 18. And last number, 3xy times quantity wx squared y to the pip raised to 7/3, or 3xy times quantity y raised to 7/3 x raised to 14/3 y raised to 35/3. Salamat. Thank you for listening. That's all about radical expressions. Goodbye. See you next time.